Jo Becker is a Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter for The New York Times. She and her colleagues published a series of articles that broke the story of Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting with the Russian lawyer. Good morning, Jo.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
President Trump has twice applauded his son for transparency. When the New York Times first approached the White House about this 4 days ago, were they transparent and forthcoming?
Look, their story has changed multiple times. Donald Trump Jr.'s story has changed. First, he said, well, the meeting was primarily about adoptions. Then when we came back to him and said, no, we've talked to people who said it was also about getting dirt on Hillary Clinton. He acknowledged that maybe that was the case. Then we came back to him and said, we understand that it also involved a government effort. And finally, we came back to him and said, we're going to publish these emails, the contents of these emails. And that's when he released. So I guess it's up to your viewers to decide whether that's transparent.
And you said you were going to publish the story at 11, and he tweeted out the documents when?
At 11.
At 11.
Jo, can you talk about the genesis of the article? A lot of this came when Jared Kushner revised his statement about who he'd met with regarding his security clearance.
Exactly. My colleagues and I in March revealed that he had met with the Russian ambassador to the United States and also a Russian state bank, the head of a Russian state bank. And we followed up and said not only had he met with them, but that he hadn't disclosed it on, as required on security clearance forms. He has since revised his forms to include those contacts as well as all of his foreign contacts. And it was on those forms that he disclosed that Natalia Veselnitskaya was one of the people that he met with, although he did not and did not have to talk about what the contents were. And we just started digging and digging.
Do we know if there might be more revisions and there could be other meetings that we don't know about right now?
I mean, I think that they have submitted what they think is all of the contacts. I mean, it's important because, of course, Jared Kushner is in a unique position here. He's at the White House. He has to have security clearance. So failure to disclose, willfully admitting something, is a legal problem that actually can land you in jail. So
the president has called this the greatest political witch hunt in history. What are you all looking for at the New York Times?
We're looking to report the news every day, you know, nobody has said this is fake news. He said he would have. Donald Trump Jr. said that he would do things differently, and I myself have done a lot of reporting on Hillary Clinton, and I did a story on her. The Uranium One deal that Republicans have loved to talk about. So this is not a witch hunt.
When you look, Jo, at the cast of characters in this story, you have a Russian pop star and his dad, a British entertainment publicist, a tabloid reporter who had previous ties to Trump. What stands out to you as you're going through this story?
You know, what stands out to me is that this was obviously a very sensitive thing, and it went through the family and friends. And, you know, Trump is often, I mean, basically, you know, this one of the things about him is that he is said to only really, you know, trust his family. And so in one way, it's not surprising. In another way, of course, why would you put, you know, your family, your campaign manager in this kind of position? I mean, as somebody, I think what Trey Gowdy said last night, you know, geez, like, you know, and at this point, it's like, look, if you've got Russian contacts, get it out there. If you met with Dr. Zhivago, if you had borscht with, you know, you need to get it out there and stop dribbling it out like this.
There are members of the House Intelligence Committee who are looking at this particular meeting and saying, is this the beginning of what were connections between the Russian government and the Trump campaign?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that there have been multiple stories about this meeting sort of heightens people's interest and makes you wonder, why not just say what this was at the outset of our reporting? I think that the line in the emails that is the most intriguing, of course, is the line where he says, Rob Goldstone says to Donald Trump Jr., this is part of the Russian government's effort to help Mr. Trump. And Donald
His reaction isn't, what are you talking about?
Right, like what effort? What are you talking? I'd love to get the dirt, but what are you talking about? And so it raises the question of whether there were previous communications after this fact, around this idea of the Russian government helping.
One of the things when Jared Kushner has revised his disclosure forms with the federal government in order to get this security clearance. Very, very serious, because you don't want to lie on these forms. As you pointed out, they'll get you in jail. Do we know now how many meetings Jared Kushner has had with Russian government officials?
We still don't know. It's a confidential document. Our initial reporting, things were described to us, but we do not know the entire list. I imagine that's something that investigators, at least Mueller's people, definitely have that and have access to it. I imagine Congress is going to want that too.
So your investigation continues?
Absolutely.
All right, Jo Becker, thank you very much.